I made some really good plays at the Masters Tour this weekend that won me series. But I also made some plays which lost series. Some plays which took the win, screwed it up, and threw it in the bin. I didn't know at the time sometimes I was throwing. Only upon reflection, analysing replays, that I managed to find out that there were better things I could have done that could have maybe turned the tide of the game. And I'm just going to go over a few of those in this video. So I hope you enjoy it. This is how I threw the Masters Tour. Okay, the first throw I want to highlight was at the end of day one when I was 3-0 up. This was the last series of the day. I'd already lost twice in this series. So Mr. Lover Lover just needed to win with the Shaman. And the series was his. The context, they are on Burn Shaman. And I am playing Boner Shaman with Multicaster, which is a very good deck. Underrated, I think. But game plans are slightly different between both of us. I have Inevitability on my side. If I can survive to my combo, I win. From the Burn Shaman side, they're trying to close out the game a little bit quicker. They have kind of a limited cap on their damage. So you can potentially just win this matchup through gaining enough armor while not taking enough damage to die. You don't always have to go for the Boner OTK. Now the first few turns play out pretty normally. We both just played some cards. A Frostbite is used from opponent. And I also discount one of my dunk tanks and play it. So I have one dunk tank in the pool. That's pretty much all you need to know at this point. Now at this stage we get Frostbite again, and our spells are more expensive. So the throw occurs actually on this turn, turn 8. I top deck Multicaster. I've already played, I think, all 3 spell schools. So we'll draw 3 cards. So great top deck. We draw more cards. Exactly, insta play it. But it's actually the wrong play this turn. The reason being is I'm really close to the combo. I've already played a Corrupted Dunk Tank from earlier. I have Boner, Yashaj, and I have a Circus Medic that needs to be corrupted. So if I can just draw a Lightning Bloom and corrupt and play this Circus Medic, I have an OTK on the opponent. Now because the opponent played Frostbite last turn, this Dunk Tank, or any spell I have, is now 2 mana more expensive, which is a very weird thing to be in, because it's not usually how you would go about corrupting the Circus Medic. But the right play this turn is to play the Dunk Tank, this uncorrupted Dunk Tank, as a means to corrupt this Circus Medic and trade off this 3-2. So we can shoot this 3-4, trade the 3-2. That way we don't take any face damage from the board. We really don't do much fine, but it doesn't matter. We're just trying to assemble the combo and prevent our opponent from pushing any face damage. So plan being, we play this turn, and then next turn we have 9 mana, so we can play this Corrupted Medic. We need to do that, and we can play this Multicaster. And because we draw a lot of cards and I have 2 blooms left in deck, it's quite likely we can find the combo, and then we can go in on turn 10. The problem with what I did, which was to draw first, is I don't have enough mana this turn after drawing to be able to corrupt this Medic. So it basically delays my OTK a whole turn. And we also end up taking 3 from this 3-2 because I don't draw a freeze for it. Gain some armor, which is nice. But we would have been able to do that next turn. Now I actually realised I should have played the Dunk Tank after I played this Multicaster. But it was already too late. We're a bit unfortunate to lose this game, but we'll see how it plays out. Now I draw another Bloom, so I do see the play that having not drawn Snowfall Guardian, the way to corrupt this Medic is actually this uncorrupted Dunk Tank. So this turn I go for it. and I bloom this medic basically with the intention of doing the combo in 2 turns. But the problem is, because I had to use this bloom to essentially do what I could have done over 2 turns had I just ordered differently and gone for Dunk Tank first before the multicaster. I'm gonna reach this turn 10 after they've used most of their burn and I'm in range of dying. But I have the combo turn 10, but I'm overloaded, so I can't actually do it, unfortunately. And that was the difference maker. We do the best play we can, really, which is to clear board. Got a parrot for your charge, so we have lethal set up. We're on 6 health, and our opponent top decks their out for lethal, unfortunately. But it was a throw, even though we were pretty unlucky to A, take this much face damage on this turn, and B, they had the follow-up burn in hand, especially so because they'd used 2 frostbites already. But yeah, the win was potentially there, and just really the difference maker on this play was just mana. I needed to spend 6 mana this turn, and then 4+4 next turn. It's just more efficient use of your mana over 2 turns, even though we're drawing cards later. And if I did that, I would have won the game, and who knows, maybe I could have turned it around a couple more times against this Burn Shaman and won the series. Okay, for context for this series, this is against JP Mixter. He's playing Warlock Handlock deck against Questfell DH, and it's favoured for us. The first 2 games of this series I got Omega High rolled by Alignment Druid and some other deck, and I remember it being slightly tilting, but then I clawed it back to 2-2, playing some very, very, very good Hearthstone in some very losable games, and then it all came down to this final game where I threw it all away. We'll see what happens. Okay, so first off, I got Double Jump Glide. I decided to use this Fury, basically because I'm intending to glide my hand away and I don't really want to redraw it. And then, you know, you add it for the Jace later on, which is sort of relevant. Our opponent is aware that, you know, glide's a thing, especially after me doing this play. So they're just kind of trying to dump some They're just trying to dump some cards and not playing to glide too much. And the throw occurs on this turn. We studies. Oh, Sigil Runner, great for quest. Go for that. Complete quest, great, right? Except this is wrong. This is definitely wrong. And the reason why it's wrong is because we just glossed over this card, the Kurtrus, the 4-mana Kurtrus. When we studies it, we can go coin Kurtrus to kill this 3/3. Our opponent's side, they're aware we're going to glide. The matchup's very much about glide. The Handlock, their deck operates through drawing cards with tap, backfire, making their giants cheaper, being able to play the 5/4 and stuff. But glide sort of takes that out of the window, and the Warlock's aware of that. So they try not to do the card draw stuff, and they just tempo out whatever minions they can. But the thing is, if you remove this Bristleback here, and you get ahead in tempo, what options does the Warlock have? They can just play like a weenie minion into your 3/4, not great. They can draw cards, and then we're going to get them with the glide. The problem with what I do, which is quest progression here, is we don't deal with this 3/3. We've only developed 1/1 in tempo. And we've discounted some cards in hand, but they're also not tempo, it's just more card draw. So in terms of like quest progression, yeah, great. But in terms of how the matchup's playing out, it's just not necessary to do this early. We should have taken a turn here to just focus more about the board tempo. We play this Kurtrus here, kill this guy, have a 3-4 ahead. You have to use the coin to do so, but then we can just progress the first stage of the quest on the next turn while we're ahead, while our opponent really can't efficiently answer this 3-4. They're always going to do either a draw play or a weak minion play. There's really not much else they can do. Then we can just progress second stage, and by that point they likely have a big hand size, and we can use the glide and then hopefully wreck our opponent. What's more here is because it's a bristleback, every time they tap and then they attack with this, they're getting an extra discount on their giant, which is a big deal. So kind of important to kill this thing. But yeah, this is an easy mistake to make with Quest Demon Hunter as well, and it's something I'm very well aware of, so I'm kind of annoyed looking back on this. I just completely glossed over the Kurt. I just saw the Sigil Runner and kind of insta-took it, which is why you shouldn't just be reactionary in these tournaments. You really need to think about everything you can. So yeah, but the real throw, that's like more like a tactical throw, which you could argue wasn't a big deal, but I think it was. I think this was a massive throw. The real massive throw occurred right at the end, when, you know, things got out of control because I left this thing alive when I went for my glide plan and just didn't focus on board enough. The real throw occurred after I got my quest up. I saw my opponent had 17 damage on board, and they discarded the Battlemaster through playing Ultra's Fire. So there was no way to actually deal damage in the deck. But what I failed to realize was the quest was one tap away from completion. So on this turn, I played my Kurtrus, completely brain farted about the quest damage. Actually looked away from Hearthstone at this point and looked at my opponent's deck list, trying to prepare for the next turn. And then when I looked back, I was dead, and I was like, oh, that was the most stupid thing I've done all tournament. And I felt like quite an idiot afterwards. But I wasn't as annoyed about this throw, looking back on the game, as I was about this one. Because this throw at the end was just a brain fart. This was just, you just forgetting about something. It's not about tactics or anything. It was just me just being a moron for a second. But this one here, this one annoyed me because I should have seen this. I should have thought about how the matchup's going to play out, and this one is one that I can learn from. Okay, that was just a couple of the throws I wanted to show you. They weren't the only mistakes I made throughout the tournament, but I think they were the most pivotal ones and the most obvious mistakes, maybe, and the ones that cost me the most. I think it's always important to reflect on your games as a player. Don't want to just come out of the tournament and just say, I got unlucky, opponent drew better, blah blah blah. Hear it quite a lot. Sometimes that is true. Sometimes you think that's true and you're not able to see some of the mistakes you've made. That's where like another perspective coming in, looking over your stuff might be useful, or at least looking over it yourself and just, you know, trying to see alternate lines of play which might have changed the result of the game. I always like to do that. Overall, I think I played pretty well through the tournament, but just a few hiccups here and there. It was very late at night, this tournament, so perfect play is definitely not expected. Maybe I could do another video if you like this kind of content on some of the good plays I did, although it won't have, you know, quite the catchy title as this video does. Need a name for the opposite of a throw. I suppose a catch is that. Anyway, let me know if you like this content. I'll see you on the next video, whenever that will be. Bye.